Cool. Okay, good evening, everyone. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie. I've been with Herbalife for 26 years, and it's my pleasure to go through our recruiting tonight. So it's called The Art of Recruiting, and this is going to give you some really great insights to how to recruit, what to say, how to generate leads, how to help a new person get up to a great start. And yeah, we really want to give you lots of practical information so that you can build, a solid royalty income, and also, build an organisation as well. So I'm just okay, cool. So let's get started. So there's 3 sections. So you probably noticed last week with the retail section, the way that I was taught in the business, that it's divided into 3 parts. There's how to generate, which is like your menu, what to say, so how to talk to someone. And then the follow-up is basically taking someone through the start of their business right through to the end, and how to take them through their setup steps. So that's basically the 3 components. So if you want to write those down, first, so it's the art of recruiting is our topic. And the first section is how to generate. So when you think about going into a restaurant and you've got a menu, and there's all these things that you can choose from. And of course, we all have different tastes, and we all have different dietary requirements. So the great thing about a menu at a restaurant is you can choose what suits you, and the business is exactly the same. You want to choose the methods that suit your personality type. But I want you to have a think about that there's 2 parts to this menu. One is the events that you have. So this is the where you invite people into. So that can be an HOM. It could be like an online presentation. It might be some information you're emailing, or a website or something like that. You've got to think about what event are you inviting someone into. So obviously running local HOMs in your local area every single week is probably the best way to do it, because it's the fastest way to build. But then if you're in a remote area and you've got people that don't live near you, you might want to have some sort of online presentation that you can send out. Maybe you sit on the phone or on the computer and do it with them. So that you can follow up fairly quickly. So you want it to be a fairly easy process, very simple, but also with that follow-up factor. Then the other part to the menu is the different methods you use to generate the leads that you can invite people into the presentation, okay? So this is the menu, and it can be flyers, ads, social media, center of influence, signs, posters. There's like a whole range of different things that you can use to generate leads. So I just thought I'd ask a few people on what they use. So I'll bring a couple of people up. So Jen, tell me, what's your main recruiting methods that you like to use?
Okay, well, more recently I've been in semi-retirement, but what I used to always do was run a simple little ad 3 days a week. Of course, ads are a wee bit different these days, but I built my business on a simple 3 or 4 line ad. But flyers, always do flyers. You might have to do a lot more of them these days, but flyers always work and will always continue to work. It's a great way of sort of, getting the message out there. I think having some of the Herbalife coloured business flyers is always good to have, because you can leave those under sugar bowls, anywhere that's appropriate. And if you're talking to somebody, I always like to hand something that's a bit more professional to somebody, because usually talking to somebody, I think, is usually one of the best ways of trying to get somebody interested in the business this day and age for myself. But recently I had a couple of leads sent to me from the company, being Tab Team. They do send you a few leads. Out of all the retail leads I've had sent, which is not a lot, none of them have become purchasing of the products anyway. I think they just get onto Herbalife's site out of curiosity. Had a couple for the business, and one just recently was for the business, and a really nice guy, and his name was Michael. I thought, gee, that's a good sign, being Michael. Anyway, long story short, he came round here. We went through the presentation. I printed off some facts of the company, so we did it sort of visually as well, and went through the products. He got registered, and I thought, this is good. And I rang him up within a couple of days. Actually, he came on the Saturday. I rang him up on the Monday to see how he was and everything. He said, because I want to confirm that he was going to come to our Tuesday night meeting down at Oxford with Kerry and Jennifer. Anyway, he said, no, decided not to do it. So you just never know with people. Yet when he was here, on the Saturday, I was a little bit curious at some of the things that he was saying, but I did think that he was sort of serious, but obviously not. I think he might have been sussing out Herbalife. I really don't know. But anyway, I left it in a nice way. I sort of said to him, that's, seems a bit of a shame, but if you ever change your mind, you know where I am and you've got the phone number. I would really like to be able to help you in the business. It's a great opportunity. So even though I had a lead, it didn't work. So you just never know, but you just keep on trying. So, so I've just got to get a bit more active and get a bit more information out there in the marketplace.
Cool. And may I ask, your flyers or your ads, what was the wording? What did you say?
My ad that I built our business from was, oh goodness, can I remember? It's to see a person can earn, and we used to be able to put some dollars in there in those days. I think it was $300 to $500 a week part-time and call. And our flyer was earn an extra income around what you're currently doing. I think there were dollar signs with some income on that one as well. And that's how we built our business from way back then. And it was a very good, solid business. And actually one flyer in one of the local areas near where we lived, actually was that flyer that they came in and had a look at the business, and they were from India, and that's the flyer that got me to India. So you just never know what a flyer is going to do for you.
International business, that's cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So, Marcel, so I'd love to know the methods that you're using, and maybe just a couple of people that you've got registered the business and how that came about. Whoops, I think I... Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry. I just missed you.
I think, yeah, all good. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, great. So I actually haven't really branched into the flyers yet. I base my business mostly around, I'm big into Facebook, social media, and also I run back-to-back online weight loss challenges. So, for example, I've got a challenge that's starting on Wednesday, and I promoted this challenge. If they can buddy up with someone, their entry is free. So I've got two new two retail sales just from that. They get free entry, plus they've either buddied up with a sister or a workmate. Another way I do it is I get a lot of mine from referrals, as I say, with great follow-up. Usually after they've purchased the program, weigh-in day 7, I do mention to them, has anyone noticed how great you're looking or your results? And there's always someone. I said, well, I actually give them my business card or even ask for their name, and I contact them, and I always start people mostly on a 3-day trial pack because that's what I find easy. I'm really confident in asking, for $25 rather than hundreds of dollars. And so I let them know, I said, if you just let them know that for $25 they can trial the program, and I do get a lot of referrals from that. Another one.
So are you saying, Marcel, that when you get referrals then you're naturally upgrading them into the business? Is that what you're saying happens?
Yes. So once I've got a referral, they call around. I start them on a trial pack. They upgrade to a program, and then day 7, when they come weigh in with me, I'll let them know how to become a VIP and how they can purchase with a 25% discount. And I usually sign them up then, and they become a member and order themselves. Another way I do it is I advertise, I'm looking for 10 people to try my 3-day trial packs. I do get a lot of hits from that one as well, coming around to the house, just starting on trial packs. And so that once they've purchased the program, around day 7, I sign them up, and I just let them know then if they can give me a couple of referrals, we'll be able to get them to a higher discount, to 35%. And too easy.
So I would love you to do 2 things, Marcel, for us.
Yep.
Could you please take a photo or upload on Challenge Yourself Daily what your business card looks like?
Yes, yep.
And I would really love, I don't know if you've done this, but this is what I would do, is I would write out a step-by-step process of exactly from start to finish on how you, basically the conversation, it doesn't have to be word for word, but just maybe bullet points on how you walk someone through that process.
Yeah, I've actually got all the paperwork here in front of me so I can download. We've done a webinar with Lyd and Jen and Albert, so we've actually have done all that, so I can upload all that to the page as well.
And I would love you to do an actual call on it too, if you'll be happy to do that, because that was always in my mind.
Yes.
Okay.
When we cover, we'll be able to do that. Yep.
Cool. Okay. So yes, if you'd like to upload that, so if someone wanted to follow that process, that would be fantastic. And then we could follow that up with a call another time. That would be great.
Yep.
Cool. And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much it. Just said social media. I do run a few shake parties as well, but mostly social media, shake parties, and just back-to-back weight loss challenges. And as I said, just trying to get people to buddy up, so we're getting new people on the challenge all the time.
Cool. So when you mean buddy up, you're getting them to have a family or friend that joins them in the challenge.
That's it. Yeah.
That's really clever. And I know when I was listening to that Prospecting Your Way to President's team with George Knight, that he says that the reason why he tries to access other people's center of influence is because he knows that those people will, it's not about making money, it's actually those people will actually be more successful because they've got people around them doing the same thing.
Yes, that's exactly, that's what let people know they're going to get better results if they've got someone to buddy up with, and encourage each other.
Yeah, so I guess if there was a reason why you'd want to ask for referrals that isn't money motivated, it's actually because you will actually help that person to be more successful.
Yes,
so if that's your motivating factor, then we should be all asking for more referrals, hey?
Yeah, well, I haven't really gone too much into the income side of things. I'm trying at the moment, but it's mostly been just getting people on the products and getting great results.
Okay. Well, you're doing fantastic. You qualified for the Herbalife Vacation last year, is this correct?
I did. I went to Bali. It was awesome. Yeah, great experience.
So obviously what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love that. If you could upload that, that would be fantastic. Thank you, Marcel.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that's fun. Thank you. Ross, you can unmute yourself. I'll let you. Cool. So did you want to share what method you're using and where some of your members came from, please?
Okay. So I pretty well at the moment only use the white business opportunity brochure that comes in Herbalife. I drop that wherever I put it. Like when we obviously flew back from Spectacular, we slid it in a little pocket where we were sitting in the plane, so the person's cleaning the plane hopefully would pick it up. Now just drop them everywhere, wherever you can find it, but that's what I use when I actually talk to anybody. At the moment, it's probably the main method of the way I would look for any person in any way, shape or form, whether it's for business or whether it's for product. And then from there, invite them down to a HM and go from there. But what I wanted to also say was when you look at, and I'll be upfront here at the moment and say, if you look at the way we operate, everything works on that 90-day plan process. So virtually all our clientele now, and I know I've changed over the time that we've been doing it, and we haven't been doing it that long, all go on retail pretty well straight away. They have to be at least on a month retail, and that month can turn from a month to 2 months depending on the person and depending on how serious they are or what goes on. So if you look at from a recruiting point of view, in December we signed up 4 new members from the work that was done previously December. Since December, I know I've changed some what I've been doing and not been going out on doing things because I've been changing what I was doing around here. And in January, we only signed up 1 new member. And in this month, we won't sign up anybody. And that all comes down to the work that was being done in November and December changed to now, which shows why why we haven't signed anyone new up, because we're not putting anyone new retail on. So the process is we all have to understand that we may sign some up next month because there's a lady on retail at the moment that may eventually transition across, but not everybody does, because I know when we first started, we tried to sign everybody up and then they all fall away. So now we do virtually, it is retail. They've got to be on retail for the first month. So the last person we put on, which was Steph, she was on retail for the month of virtually December. She was on an ultimate program. She showed that she was serious about what she wanted to do. She showed that she wanted to actually lose weight and improve her life. So she became a member on an ultimate pack again. And she's about to the point to which she's about to buy her second ultimate pack with the promotion that's running at the moment before the end of the month. So that's how we virtually operate from there. They have to be on retail nowadays to show us and to show them that they're serious, because it does two things. There's no point locking them in and committing to something that they're going to fall away from within less than a month and say, look, it's not for me. They're entitled to do that. They get their 30-day money-back guarantee within that period of time. And then obviously then you can talk to them about being a member and go, well, it's a 90-day money-back guarantee once you become a member, if they need to go from there. So that's principally the process of how we operate, or I operate at this particular point in time. Yep. So really, if you do the work now, could take you 2 to 3 months before you're going to see the results of that recruitment. Unless you've got someone that you just walk into that seriously gets the fact of the business and really wants to run with it, then you can change that process. But they've really got to start to get themselves the result. Otherwise, how do they say to people, hey, I've lost whatever, I feel great, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so that's our process at the moment.
So it's kind of like qualifying to see how serious they are before you move them to the next stage, basically.
Absolutely, because otherwise they waste our time, they waste their time. And then the biggest thing I look at is I don't want them out of pocket any more than they need to be, because then I give us a bad name and give them a bad name, and you know, they really need to know this what they want to do. And then look, people can start on whatever size and program they want. Sure, Ultimate Program's great, but not everybody can afford that. So you've just got to try and tailor it to what they can afford and what you can encourage them and show them, and how you go from there.
Well, thank you. And can I just ask you, the business opportunity brochures that you're talking about, where do you get them from, just in case there's someone on here that doesn't know where they come from?
So the business opportunity brochure, I suppose I looked at Herbalife. If I go back to Extravaganza last year, is where I started to change who I was. And still, we're all on a learning curve, and we're all learning all the time. So that business opportunity brochure is in our My Herbalife site. Go into your product catalog, go down through there, and you'll find it within that process. I think it comes in a pack of 20. I think that's all that's in that particular brochure. It's not obviously the cheapest brochure under the sun. Yes, we have found out you can go and get it printed, but honestly, unless you go and get like over 1,000 printed, it's no cheaper. It's cheaper to go through My Herbalife, because you can buy 20 at a time, 1 pack at a time, use what you need to do, and then go from there. And that it's available in that site. It's a standard brochure from My Herbalife, and I suppose it's something I like to use, because at least I know that I'm not asking someone to create something that doesn't know how to create a flyer themselves. They can use all the tools. All the tools we need to run our business are in My Herbalife, realistically. Now, we can expand on that as much as we want to. Fantastic. But our members need to know that every tool they need is in our own sites. Every function we need is there. And that's how I try and operate as much as I possibly can. And I just find it's professional looking brochure. It gives you information. What's fantastic about it, I can pretty well say on the back of that brochure, hey, I know all those people. I've either met them or spoken to them. I know who they are. You know what I mean? I have Jennifer's page on the back of it. I know who she is. I am being true to everybody, because I can say, oh, these Australians. I've met these people. I've spoke to these people. I know who they are. So I can come across with authenticity when I talk to someone where that's concerned.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I think that's great that Jennifer's on the
absolutely
on the brochure. It's great, and because Jennifer, you're such a big one on flip books and stories and stories and stories. That's the perfect example. So I think Stephen's put in the chat group. You want to click on it, the code number for it too, if you want that. So thank you, Stephen, for that. And okay, so cool. Thank you, Ross, for sharing. So some of the ways that I do recruiting, just if you would like to know. So yes, I definitely upgrade my customers to distributors. And what I normally look for, especially at Fit Club and things like that, I'm looking for that person that gets there early. I'm looking for that person that's helping me set up and pack up and starting to put the shakes and the cups at the end, and that's the person I'm looking for, that has got that natural wanting to help. And I know that's a clear indication that they're probably quite easy to move to the next step, and then say, hey, why don't you start inviting people and we can work together and you could be part of the team. So that's number one. I find that really easy to upgrade that way. The other way is I love doing ads. Like I'll usually look for small publications in different towns and things like that, where it's probably around, like most of them I'm spending probably $36 up to about $60 for the year. So it comes out monthly, and I'll just have a very simple earn extra income or work from home, or something like that that's catchy, and looking for people that are interested in recruiting. And then the flyers kind of reflect the same thing. I do like face-to-face. I find that face-to-face is 4 times more effective than letterboxing. I know that if I've got an effective flyer that's proven to work, that it's probably going to be every 500 flyers I do, I'm going to get between 1 and 4 calls. And out of that, you know, probably out of every 10 calls, so basically every 1,000 flyers, I'm probably more likely to get 1 member. So it's a lot of work, especially here in Gympie. It's really hilly, and it's a small country town. So I know if I go to face-to-face, I'm going to increase my strike rate by up to 4 times because they get to see who I am and I can compress that time. So a bit of both is great, and just leaving a paper trail. So wherever I go, if I go to the decks, I do a bit of a top-up, and I've got some posters I'm allowed to leave in the toilet areas and on the stuff on the counter, and I'm just continually doing that, going back again and again and again because people get to see you. So definitely leaving a paper trail. Obviously Marcel's doing a lot of online stuff, which works too. Face-to-face, like with Russ, works too. It doesn't matter what you do, long as you do it consistently. That's really important. So I would recommend choosing 4, because remember last week we talked about having a table for stability. If you've only got a one-legged table, it can fall over. So for example, you decide to do flyers, and then we had all that rain last week, and then we had a heat wave the week before, and you can't get out and do your flyers. Well, guess what? Your business isn't going to grow. But if you've got 4 methods, one of them can take up the slack. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and you've now got a very stable business. And you know, and generally, the more consistent you are, it tends to fire off other things that you're doing as well. So some of the little set and forget things that I like to do is, one, putting your a white pages listing. It's generally free. So I'd recommend doing that. Definitely wearing your button, having something on your car, being branded. I know a lot of schools will let, sometimes you leave stuff on the fences, or if they won't let you do that, because I did ask our school and they said no, but I just went to the neighbour across the road and went up the driveway and knocked on their door, had a chat, and they let me put a sign on the fence opposite the school. So you just got to ask sometimes, okay? So if you don't ask, you don't get. I know the local local store where I can get petrol. If you have a petrol account, no, I don't book up my petrol. I always pay for it straight away. But the fact that I've got an account with them means I can have a sign on the fence advertising my business. So start looking for creative ways where you can layer it up, and I call it set and forget. Once you've put it in place, you don't have to think about it anymore. If you can book up something for a year, you don't have to think about it anymore. So start looking for those different things in your local area and surrounding towns that you can layer up with your advertising, okay? So that's the menu, so make sure you choose 4. Okay, so then the second part to this, of course, you're going to start doing some advertising and talking to people, and then all of a sudden you've got someone that says yes, they're interested in talking to you. So, of course, I remember the first time, actually, when I first started, I was so shy that when someone advertised, I actually wouldn't call them back straight away. I'd wait about 2 weeks because I was so shy and petrified to speak to them. And then by the time I called them, they weren't interested anymore. So I wasted all that time. So it took me a little while to get over my fear and things like that. But I just thought, I know that Ross, you've gone through this process of you know, not wanting to speak to people and being scared to do it, and sort of what you've done to get through that. I'd love some tips on what you do with scripts and finding your set of words. So write down, this is the next section, what to say.
Okay, Shelley. So with set of words, the best way I would say that I learned is going balls it up and stuff it up, and then find words that work for you. We have scripts, and obviously, Shelley, you can download whatever scripts you like. But the biggest thing I find with scripts, the same as if someone's helping me write some notes to do when you're doing PowerPoint, so you jump on stage, it's not what I would say. It could just be one word slightly different and you get stumbled because it's not how you would normally talk. And I know there's certain languages at times or words I use that I go, oh, you shouldn't say that, but that's who I am. So if I'm saying words that aren't me, I start to fumble the word and I get all tongue-tied and I do look totally unprofessional. So the only thing I can say at that point is you need to use the script if you want to, read through it. If it's not how you would say it, rewrite it. Keep the same gist, but rewrite it in the way you would talk. And just feel comfortable. And the other thing is, like, a couple of times we'd gone out because we have our little office says Wide Bay Lifestyle Centre, and we were finding if we said the words come down to our Wide Bay Lifestyle, lost them on the spot. Because as soon as you said Lifestyle Centre, they went, oh, you want me to exercise? No, we didn't. We just wanted to come down and have a look at the video, basically. But so we started to not say that and just found different words within each demographic of person, what you can say. Look, you know, George Knight's fantastic, you know, new division, looking for 5 key people. It needs to be something that you are 100% comfortable with. And if you're talking to someone, I suppose it's like we did last week, you did the form, it's really trying to ask some leading style questions. So if you're in a shop, hi, how you going? Well, they've said that to you and you go, oh, really great. Oh, hey, how's you going with the job? And then you're listening for them to say, oh, look, I really hate what I'm doing today. Oh, really? Oh, and then have a conversation, just thread a conversation. And remember, we're trying to listen, not talk. And that's difficult at times because all we want to do is blah, blah, blah and go over the top and Herbalife vomit over everybody and we lose the point. We've really got to start to listen and just hit some key points. Hey, I'm looking for 5 key people that are looking to make some part-time income. Do you know anybody? And stop. Now, they'll either say yes or no. Depends on who it is. Like the button you've got on at the moment, Shelley. I know the other day, I had one on and people go, oh, what's that? Yeah, I'm just looking to make people healthy and happy. Oh, okay, what's that about? So then you can have a conversation. So it just becomes having a conversation. And I know I am not on here. It's fine. Writing on it. Facebook's fine. But I'm not the most social person in the world. And I'm well aware of that. So I have to really concentrate and struggle when I'm in that environment to what I need to do. And the only thing I can say, you just got to find your set of words and be you. Because when you're not you, it doesn't take them very long to pick up that you're not authentic, you're not genuine, and then go from there. The other thing I suppose I look at is it can even come down to, instead of I'm looking for 5 key, I'm looking for people to help me. It can be help me. Help's a good word. Help's a really great word. Another one that I use a lot at the moment is I walked into a shop and I had the flyer in my hand, and as soon as I hit, she said, I'm not interested. I said, that's okay. I said, I'm just looking for people that are open-minded. As soon as I threw the word open-minded out, she shut up and stopped because she basically was saying to me, if she said no then, that she wasn't open-minded. But I hadn't said it to her, but I'd actually reverse psychologied on her to make her go, yeah, all right, okay. And I said, all I want you to do is come and have a look. I don't expect anything else. You know, are you interested? And I just said it again. Are you open-minded enough to come and take a look? Okay. Because I forced it on her to tell me that she wasn't an open-minded individual. And I never said it to her, but it's how I implied the conversation, how I implied the wordage to her changes their mindset, because then they're saying to you, like George's words, either unintelligent or uninformed. They're then starting to tell you that they're unintelligent or they don't want to be informed. So it's just finding how you talk, you know what I mean? And at times I can be pretty straight to the point. So depending on the individual, they're brand new, never met them before, I'm probably a little bit softer. If I've been into that shop a few times and you're starting to build a rapport up and they get to know what you like, then I'm almost can be straight to the point and say, hey, are you serious? You know, you keep bitching about the every time I come in this shop that, you know, you hate your job, whatever. Why don't you come and seriously talk to me? It's not hard to lift it up once you build a reputation up with somebody and you get to know those particular people. And sometimes you may have to, and actually you don't go to the same servo, but there's only so many servos in Gympie. So ultimately you eventually have to go to every servo at some point. So eventually over a period of time, they get to know who you are. You might, oh, hi, how you going? You know, oh, you're still here. Oh, you were complaining last week. You weren't enjoying your job. How's it going this week? Oh, yeah, the boss is still paying the ass. Really? Bang. Hey, why don't you come and talk to me? It's as simple as that. Now, if they're really hating their job, they're at some point going to go one day, yeah, all right. What are you talking about? And if you keep pushing the fact that there's no commitment, just come and have a look, be open-minded, and keep throwing that style of stuff out, and then let the HOM do all the work. Stop us. We've got to stop doing the work. Let that do the work. Let the information, let the recording, let all that process convince them, not we convince them. Let someone else doing all the work for us then. And then they can look at it and go, oh, depending on what HOM system you've got, and they can look at it and go, yeah, okay, great, fantastic. So that's the principle of how I probably go from there. So there is no set of words I use. It really probably would come down to the day. If I'm having a bad day, don't talk. Don't have a shirt on. You know what I mean? Don't do it. There's no point giving across a bad attitude. But I've even changed slightly how I don't always wear this anymore, just the standard shirt. I'm starting to think more about going out, and because I'm really starting to think, and we'll get into that in the next step, about this is a serious business and we need to start with what's serious business people. So I start the other week when the lady spoke to me about the button, I had a long sleeve business shirt on with the button on the top, because I wasn't trying to overflog Herbalife, but I was in a place, and you look like a serious business person, and so it comes down to who am I looking for, because I know at the moment I need to build my business people that are way better than me. I need business people that are better than me. So I need to start looking for those business people, and to attract that business style person, I have to look like a business style person. Without being not genuine, I just have to dress how we would dress. And actually, I feel quite comfortable when I'm dressed like that, not necessarily with a jacket on, but I'm quite happy to be comfortable dressed with a long sleeve shirt, and I don't feel out of place. So yeah, so that's pretty well how I operate at the moment. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because I remember asking Gary that question. He said, you need to find people who are smarter than you. And he said, it's not going to be easy, that want to build a royalty income. And that always just stuck in my mind, which is exactly what you just said. So some of the things you can do with a script is you can practice it with your sponsor and mentor. You can practice it with your family and friends. Great way to get them to listen and say, hey, I just need some practice partners. So that's what I would recommend. And so, Ross, do you take new people out with you to do that so they can listen to what you say and then you get them to do it?
It would depend on, I suppose. Yes, absolutely, have done that. It would depend on the individual. So really at the moment, I suppose, again, I'm changing in the process of people. There's no point dragging someone along that really doesn't want to do that. I'm changing how I talk to our own team and ask them they're serious. And yes, I take people out, and quite happily, when we've gone and done walk and talks or whatever, I'm happy to have them with me and do the tell, show, try, do as much as possible, encourage them as much as possible to do that, because unless they do it, unless they need to fail, you think about, we've got to take it back to when we first got on a push bike, we had our dads or mums put trainer wheels on us, and eventually we fell over millions of times, and eventually we got to ride it. We have to do the same thing. There is no point going out there and being this perfect scripted individual. You need to go out there and find your mistakes, find your set of words. And honestly, the quicker you do it, the more mistakes you make, the more you'll learn, the faster you're going to grow. It really comes down to that. So if you take forever to go and just do one, I can tell you at the end of the year, 52 times from now, you're going to be only 52 times better. If you're doing 5 a day, 5 days a week, you're now 20. In 2 weeks, you're as good as what you could be in a year's time. So how well would you be in a year's time if you're doing 5 a day, right? And mucking it up 4 times or 5 times. And don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. And I love what obviously Gary did in his day. Go somewhere where you don't know anybody, because if you feel like a total goose, you can get out and leave and don't have to go back to that town again if it has to be, or whatever you need to do. If that's the easiest way, and that's another way to get past your own embarrassment, depending on where you live. If you live in city-style areas, get out of your own suburb and go to another suburb. If you live in the city, live in the Gold Coast, for example, not in those areas. Anyway, so there's plenty of suburbs. Go to a suburb that you're probably never going to go back to. If you stuff up, doesn't matter. Don't go back to that suburb for a couple of months and hope you don't run into those people again if you feel so embarrassed. Small country town, it's pretty hard because you pretty well know you're going to walk past that person sometime the rest of that week or next week again. So, in those environments, it makes it 10 times easier to do that, to go and practice somewhere else.
Cool. So that's creating a steeper learning curve by doing more numbers. And Gary is always huge on that as well. Like, it's all about more. That's what he always said. The answer to any of the problem is more numbers, do more, talk to more people. So thank you, Ross. That's awesome. So that is what to say. So if anyone's got a really fantastic recruiting script that's working for them, I would love you to upload it onto Challenge Yourself Daily, please. So it's just in the top section. You'll see when you go to post and you click on it and it comes down, upload file. So if you could do that, that would be great. If you think I'm talking about a script that you know is getting results, that would be fantastic. I know they're all kind of basically the same, and I've got a couple on there. If you go into the file section again, there's a few already uploaded in there. So the third part to recruiting is the follow-up, and really the follow-up is taking someone through their steps, the new distributor steps. So basically, once you register someone, whether you're ordering the business pack for them, the member pack, and doing it with them, or whether they're just registering online and then having it shipped out to wherever they are. So they may live near you, they may not live near you. Either way, it's fine. The process is exactly the same. And then you want to show them how to do orders and things like that. But one of the things I have been looking at on myherbalife.com.au is the online, the resource center, which has got it's got all different modules, and it takes you step by step through every aspect of the business. And I highly recommend that you go have a look at this. There's different certificates and things like that, and it just basically steps you through use, wear, talk. So I've just started looking at it, and I'm going to go through the whole process because I think it's such a great resource. It doesn't matter the person. I remember my sponsor Merv saying that you could be out in the middle of nowhere, and as long as you got your business pack and your career manual, you can build a business. You know, you don't need anyone to help you. You could do it all by yourself. So everything's there at your fingertips, and you want to use it. So some of the things in the new distributor steps I know that George Knight uses a lot, and I just thought, Ross, you could go through just working out what people want and then taking them through that. So just that process that George would use.
So virtually what I do now at the moment more so is go through the goals list. So there's a couple of pages to the product, what I've got, and we can look at sharing that over the next couple of days into the system once I've uploaded it, is go through this goals list. So on that is why did you join Herbalife? What do you want to achieve? What sort of results you want? And I suppose at that point you're really looking for, when you get to that point, is we need to start to understand, what does the now member actually want to achieve? Are they just looking for a product result? Do they just want to lose a few kilos? Because most people honestly will tell you that they're not interested in the business. That's pretty well what you're going to get straight up, because they can't see it. And threading through to there of, what sort of income they want to be making in 12 months' time, and giving that sheet to think about and go through and look at, and find out where they want to go from there. Within those sheets is the 10 people do you know. So like, who would you invite to your wedding? Who would you invite to your funeral? If you're broke down on the highway, who are the 10 people you would call? If you won $11 million, who would you give $1 million each to? And the best one in there, if you're looking for business builders, is the one that it says, if you've got $10 million and you need to find 10 friends that help you find what charities, organisations, and what they want to do, and how they would like to help you create something, that's your business builders, because they're the ones that actually want to change the world. They're the ones that want to look after things. They're the ones that are interested in more than just themselves. They're the ones that will be interested. They're the ones who seriously are looking to do a business. Who do you invite to a charity party and all that sort of stuff. So go through that. And then on the next sheet has the 4 items. So what do you want to do, have, become, and give? So try and get them to give you at least 5 questions on that, and then get them to really try and open their mind, which the average person probably initially that doesn't understand where they want to go, doesn't understand personal development in the beginning, will struggle with, but help them and just guide them as much as possible to see what, if it was limitless of what they could achieve, what do they honestly want to achieve? Do they want to buy a house? Do they want to buy a new car? Whatever it may be, and then go from there. And then the biggest thing I'm probably pushing at the moment, and I know over the last, I would say 6 months, I would have said I'm exactly the same. We don't take this business seriously enough. And I'm now starting to talk to the team members that are serious. Like the other week I had 3 girls come into the office, sit down, and I said, so guys, what do you really want to do? Because you're coming to training, but what do you want to do? And one girl goes, I really only want to just do the product at the moment. I'm not interested in anything further. So that's great, not a problem. I'm quite happy for that. So I don't have to now badger her to come to training, because she's not ready. As long as she continues to do the product, and when she's ready, she'll come and talk to us. The other 2 said, yep, I want to do the business, and that's great. And then you also get the one, then you go, okay, we're doing training, and one goes, yep, I'll turn up, and one goes, oh, I can't. Okay. So I look at it this way. We've all had normal style jobs, if you want to call this as not a normal job, but a normal job. If we had something on that day that we couldn't go, would we still go to work? If we had a family crisis, child sick, whatever it may be, we would have to stand and make a judgment call of, what am I going to do today? How can I find a babysitter? What can I do? The dog's sick, I need to take it to the vets. What would I do? And we would find a way around it, because we know if we didn't go to work that day, we either lost a day's pay, got sick pay, had to chuck it as an annual leave day that I wasn't going to do. I'd have to do something. But we don't take this seriously enough. And we would just go, oh, it doesn't matter, I won't come to training tonight. I won't get on a call. I won't go to an SDS. I won't go to this. I won't go to that. And I said to one of the girls today, I said, I just want you to understand how I see where I want to go. So in 2020, I want to be earning $30,000 a month. So break that back down. That works out to $6,900 a week, 40-hour standard working week. That base means you're earning about 173 bucks an hour. So the time I'm giving you right now, I'm giving you a value of $173 an hour quality training that you're getting for free. This is how serious this business can be. This is where we could actually end up going. And if by starting to change that language, she sat there and went, yeah, okay, you're right. And I said, well, you know, you're not looking at it that way. You're looking at this as an $8 business, because $81 less your Formula One $73. It's an $8 business, and we treat it like an $8 hobby. We need to start showing that it's not an $8 hobby. Treat it seriously, and then you recruit people seriously that are going to build a business, and then we can change the world, and then we can help people, and we can go from there. So that's probably how I'm now seriously starting to talk about it. And look, if someone just wants to be a product lover, absolutely don't have an issue. We need every single one of them. Absolutely need every single individual that's out there doing whatever, because today they'll be a product lover. Something will happen. They'll get a great result. Someone will say something to them, and they'll come to us and go, hey, blah, blah, did this. Because we've got a lady that's in her 70s, didn't want to do the business, didn't want to know about it, got on the product, and all I said to her at the time is, I know you don't want to do the products, and I don't want you to. I don't want you to do the business, but I want you to keep in the back of your head this. When one of your friends comes to you and goes, hey, what are you doing? All I want you to do is come and say, hey, I've got someone you can come and talk to, and then we can help you from there. And then I know, to me, I don't want to sign that new person up. I will do everything I can to sign that person that she's brought to me up under her, because that way I'm going to help her get a greater discount. And because we did that, that lady went out the last month and sold her first lot of retail. And look, she made $20. It was $20 extra that she didn't have, with no real effort, because someone had said to her, what are you doing? But I don't want to push her to do the business. She's not ready. I get that. I know she's not a business person, and that's fine. And I don't have a problem with that. So I suppose it comes down to this. Realistically, the 20% that want to work, you need to put 80% of your effort in and time to, and just guide the other ones along until they're ready to come and talk to you. That's what. And then I'm really pretty hard on the ones that say, I want to be a supervisor. Fine. And the way I probably explained it a little bit today was, the young girl that I had today was this. Olympics are on at the moment, Commonwealth Games are on. If I was your coach and I wanted you to get a gold medal and you were having a bad day, you would expect me, if you were getting a gold medal, you'd want me to come and scream in your face, basically, and get you off the lounge and get you out and get you on the track, because you know you want that gold medal. What's the difference? Now, I don't have to scream in the face. I don't have to be that horrible, but they have to understand, if that's the commitment they want, then that's the commitment that I need to give to them, to make them, when they're having that bad day, I can say, hey, you told me you wanted the gold medal. Get up. Let's go out and do some more flies. Get up. Let's go and talk to another person, or otherwise you don't want this gold medal. You know what I mean? What's the difference? And we don't treat people that way. We don't ask that question. Do they want the gold medal? Do they want to be a supervisor? Do they want a royalty income? And look, if they can change their mind anytime they like, I don't care. If they change their mind halfway through and say, look, this is just too hard, it's not what I want to do, that's fine. It's not a problem. Everybody's an individual. Everybody goes through a roller coaster. We all go through a roller coaster. You know? 4 people recruited in December, 1 in January, none this month. We all roller coaster ride. But how serious are they? How serious are we treating this business? That's how I suppose I look at it at the moment.
Cool. Thank you, Russ. So there's some good points that you made. One is, doesn't matter if someone is just a client, and I wouldn't say just a client, but just remember 70% of the president's team were customers first. That's a pretty great statistic. So you never know who they're going to find or who they're going to become. So treat everyone the same and treat everyone like gold. The other thing you just said, which I think is really great, is if you think of what people want and what they're saying. So think of it as 3 buckets. So the first bucket is someone that's a product lover. And of course, this is the person, and I've actually got a slide which I'll share on Challenge Yourself Daily that really demonstrates this and the level of care and the type of information that you will give to each person. So there's a product lover, a volume producer, someone that just wants to have a few clients, maybe they want to go supervisor, and then of course you've got your business builder. So you've got your 3 types of people. So of course, a business builder, you're going to expect them to go to all the trainings, you're going to expect them to be serious and invite people to the HOMs and have that level of commitment and activity that reflects a business builder. And of course, you wouldn't expect the same thing from a product lover. A product lover, you're probably going to do more where you're following them up, giving them recipes. Maybe they'll come to Fit Club or join a challenge, and they might give you some referrals, and they may upgrade to VIP to get the discount. Okay. So that's fine for a product lover. And then a volume producer, the same thing. They might not go to as many events. They may just be more on a part-time basis. So you've got to make sure that you give them what they need to help them get to where they want. And of course, Ross just said something before too, is that they maybe a business builder might say they're a business builder, but they might become a product lover, and that's totally okay. Or a product lover saying they don't want to do the business, and all of a sudden they become a business builder. So it's fine if they swap from bucket to bucket, but be aware of where the person is at that time and what you need to give them. So I'll upload that slide because it actually gives you some tips on what to do with them, just so that you're actually giving that person what they need. And then the other thing that you said, Ross, which I know Gary always says, Jennifer, is that this business is just too damn cheap. They said $81, it should be $81,000. And if we actually paid $81,000 for this, imagine how much seriously we'd be getting up an hour earlier, going to bed an hour later, and really pouring it on. So thank you for that information, Ross. So that was basically the three components to recruiting: how to generate, what to say, and then the distributor process. So I actually have a distributor profile that I take my team members through, and it has their nutrition profile, it's got their results so I can get them a result, but it's also got their steps to go through to help them set up a business. So I'm going to upload that for you. It's what I've always used, but you can tweak it to suit yourself in your own process. But I would really love to finish off the call with Jennifer, of course, because she's got some amazing experience and insights on building an organisation and developing that royalty income. So Jennifer, if you'd like to come up and share some stuff, that would be fantastic. I'll just unmute you. Hang on 2 seconds. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'd just like to divert a little bit. I'm always interested to know what's happening in the other areas, regional areas and that. So I'm wondering if we could just get Steve and Merv to tell us, how things work around Canberra. What are they doing for recruiting down there? So one of you guys want to talk to us?
Who wants to go first? Mervyn, are you going?
Well, I do flyers. I haven't done any recently because of the hot weather, and also we've had a lot of rain in the last few days. I do circle of influence, talking to people that I meet in the street. I post on IBO Toolbox, both for recruiting and also for retail. And I would really love to learn how to do it on Facebook, but I haven't found anyone to teach me yet. No, I find it a bit difficult. But those are basically what I do, plus I've got signage on both my vehicles, the car and the ute. And actually yesterday someone going to the Canberra show actually texted me to know what it was all about. And so I'm talking to him via text at the present time.
Also, you have an HOM running as well, Mervyn?
Yeah, Steve and myself run an HOM every Wednesday night.
Cool.
Sometimes we get some people, other times we don't.
Cool. So who do you know in Canberra? Because you can send them along to that. So what I'd recommend, Mervyn, for the Facebook advertising is I would actually go into YouTube and just type in how to advertise or how to do a Facebook campaign and look at some of the videos and tutorials on that. That's what I recommend to start with. There's lots of other ways of finding out, but I'd start there and then we can have a chat another time, okay?
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Could I just ask you, maybe, Steve, do you find that in Canberra that specific areas have a style of what people are about, or people the same everywhere because it's the home of our, centre of politics? Do you find that, people are looking more for work, they've got a respect for direct sales? Any clues that might happen for regional areas?
I find in Canberra, they're all fairly well paid. Not all, majority very fairly well paid. A lot of them are interested in the business. You can get them onto the products. It's not always easy to keep them on the products, but we get them on the products, We've had several come to our meetings. They don't always come back. Whether it's us or whether it's them, I'm not sure what the reason is. I'm not going to blame the person, but sometimes it might be us. I advertise through Garnifer, for the meeting. I do flyers. I talk to people about them. Occasionally, I've had 2 people come to a meeting, and that's all I've ever had. Most always have an excuse for, can't go tonight, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, it's not an easy area, but it's not that, no area is easy. You've just got to persist.
Right. And do you branch out then? Because I know a couple of people have asked me about Canberra meetings, and they say, well, it's 2 hours from me because, obviously it's a lot of hours to Sydney, or it's a lot of hours to Melbourne. So so are you getting any, do you put flyers or recruiting ads or anything into any of those country towns within those few hours from you?
No, I have done it into Goulburn, which was and Yass, which is probably the closest to us. I had several inquiries from Goulburn. I've never ever had anything come to fruition. I've never had an inquiry from Yass. I had two lots of adverts in the Yass paper. It's just small ads, just I can't think of exactly what I said now. Business opportunity meetings, and earn from home, and my phone number. I think it was something like that. That's all I had basically written in that ad. I've never had an advert, and never had an inquiry from Yass at all. And that's probably about maybe 40 minutes from Canberra, where Goulburn's probably about just over an hour.
Right. Okay. Right.
Just to add something to that, I've had 2 inquiries from Yass. One actually did start on the products, but then when I went to follow them up, I can never get hold of them again. So, it's... And the other thing is that most of these people work in government offices, and a lot has changed because they stopped the free parking around the Parliamentary Triangle. So if they move their car or anything at lunchtime, a lot of them used to go into Manuka and Narrabundah and the surrounding towns just to get lunch, but they don't do that now. And a lot of the cafes in those areas are actually closed.
Okay, maybe a flyer for that area, something pointed to the idea that, people who work, as you say, government type jobs, maybe they are at that time when they're looking for retirement. So maybe a flyer directed towards, are you wondering what you're going to do when you retire? Our company actually has a retirement plan, but we're looking for part-time people, whatever you might say. But that might be an idea when you're working for people who've been so bored to death, working for bureaucracy for so long. That might be the way to hit them with some funny little, like Marcel had the stick figure, flyer for the ladies. Maybe you need a sort of cartoony stick figure for these, people that work in bureaucracy, and say, are you ready to give up your job? You're looking for something else. Hey, that's a joke. But, it's just little ideas like that when you're in an area. How can you get people to take a look at your flyers? Because there must be a lot of people really wanting to get out of those bureaucratic positions and often just stuck there because they don't know that there's anything else. So if you could try that. But anyway, so I'll just go on to some of the things that I feel that are relevant. Firstly, when we're recruiting or whatever we're doing with retail recruiting in particular, you run an ad, you put out flyers, whatever. The first thing is that you want to make a relationship with people. So you're not necessarily, as they say, just going to jump on people. Some people are able to sort of say, good, get into a meeting, we're doing something at 7:30 tomorrow, rah, rah. But I've always found it better to make a relationship with people. So the first thing I'm going to be saying, if it's a female, hi Mary, can I get an idea of what you've been doing? You've rung me off a flyer that's directed to housewives, and you get some conversation going, so you can make a point of interest with them. If you make a point of interest, they might say to you, as an example, well, you know, I used to do Avon, but we're closing down. And then you say things like, oh, well, Avon used to have such great products. That's such a shame, you know, but here, you know, there's a great opportunity because we have skincare products. You know, it might be just that they're saying, well, yeah, I am at home with the kids. And you can say, yeah, I understand because, you know, I've been a single parent in the past and I know how difficult that is to find something, get to work, etc. If it's a guy, you know, I might be telling them Gary's story. As soon as they're talking, I'm saying, I know how you feel because my husband, you know, worked behind a bar for 10 years. And he used to say how frustrated he was that he went on these days off and he worked so hard and they really didn't respect what he was doing. So when you're talking to people, try to make that relationship because that's going to make them in the end, you know, want to come to see you. You know, some people have the ability to make it sound, you know, more business-like and say, okay, it's an appointment, come tomorrow, whatever. For me, I have to work on the way it is for me. I have to make that feel comfortable about talking to them and so they feel good about me. And I've had a number of people say to me in the past, you know, you sounded like you were like me. You sounded like you were a down-to-earth person, you know, all in the years gone by, sometimes we used to go to them because we were pretty desperate and we weren't going to let anybody go. And that was great because some of those people have been around for 30 years and still tell me the story about when I came out in our car that was a bit daggy, that they thought, well, my car's better than hers, but they liked me. They liked what I had to say. And so it's a relationship often that will get you. So you've got to have that set of words, that set of relationship when you are talking to people, whether it's in a shop, whether it's off a flyer or it's on the phone. You know, it's like when you go to your family party and there's some relatives or people or someone brings a friend, the first thing you're going to say is, oh, hi, as Ellen Lorenz always says, you know, where do you come from and what do you do? You know, that's how we start relationship with people. And if you can make people feel comfortable with you immediately, I think you have that chance of taking a further step after that. So then I find that, you know, when you are, you know, actually recruiting people, our business is all about relationship. And it's one of the things that I've been doing lately is that I've been finding a lot of people, you know, that, you know, in areas that they don't necessarily see their uplines or they're further down. And we all want to feel that we've got someone we can relate to, that we can talk to. So if it's raining, you know, if it's a time you can't put out flyers, then what you should be doing is talking to everybody that you do have in your team, you know, and keeping up the relationship with those people, finding out what's going on for them, that little talk every week, you know, that makes them feel like they're really part of your family, that you really care, and you don't know what they're going to tell you that might be really relevant at that time. That keeps building a relationship. And just this week, as an example, I took my grandkids to see Queen up at the entertainment centre. Actually, I bought the tickets for myself, but the grandkids said they wanted to go. So I said, okay, it's pouring rain, I'll drive you up. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do for 2 hours? So I rang Coral Brownlow and I said, you want to entertain me for 2 hours while I wait for these grandkids? But that was great because we got talking about the business, her downline. I'd been up there the week before, see what she's got going on. And bit by bit, you know, I can see that Coral and I are building a relationship, and she's a long, long way down away from me. But I know everybody that we work with, if you make somebody's business solid and they're 10 down from you or whatever, then they're going to make the people above them more solid. And as they get closer to you, they're going to be enthused about what's happening under them. And so it's so important. Everything is about relationship, you know, and enthusiasm to see what you can do for people all the time. So, you know, our business mostly, you know, as you know, got started many years ago, and that was because we just constantly worked at it. We made it a total commitment every day, no matter what, that's what we did. And even today, our business is just totally Herbalife every day. And even if we're not running an ad or doing a flyer, we're working around downline, we're doing work, and, you know, we're building a solid relationship with people all the time. And so, you know, whatever you do, you know, that is going to keep you you know, with more information. You talk to people who'll give you ideas about flyers, and you think, wow, that's a good one. I'll use that next. So, you know, that's the most important thing in our business. Enthusiasm, you know, a sense of enthusiasm, excitement about what we're offering, what's going on, what's happened, and even the things that may not, you know, that you may not be getting involved with, like you may not go to the honours. But man, is that a great thing for you to be selling, you know, to anyone in your team, or even somebody that you get to come into a recruiting, you know, interview. You know, that when you can say, this is what happens in Herbalife, it's our spectaculars, our extravaganzas, and incidentally, Herbalife is an amazing profit-sharing company, and they give away 1% of their annual turnover, which is their 7 billion plus, and that's going to be given to people in a profit-sharing situation because Herbalife totally respects their distributors. So there's so many things that you can share with people to keep their interests up and let them have something to think about for the future. And of course, there's all the things about, you know, so when you get them, you can ask them who they know, you know, what you can do with them, etc. But, you know, I find that, you know, every day we're doing in the business in the way we can. Now, at the moment, as you know, because Gary's not here, this last 6 months, we've been doing a lot of work, you know, sort of bureaucratic work, really, Lynette, coming into the business. But we have people coming here every day. And this is a little example. My granddaughter, she's got a new boyfriend. And so he came in and he said, oh, my mum's in sales. And then we got talking, etc. And in the end, I joked with him and I said, listen, mate, you should be hanging out with me, not with her. I said, because I've got more to offer you about this business. So you kind of make some fun with people wherever you go. You know, you meet young people, you turn it into a conversation, and you don't really know once you start talking to people. Now, that young guy, I was giving him some work today, doing some work in my garden. You know, I've got a twofold purpose there. I intend to get him in the business, but also while there's other work to do, you know, he can do that, but I'm keeping him around. So you get somebody off a flyer of the business, you keep them around, you know, or if you don't get them, you know, if they're in a local shop, you know where they are. You know, you just keep making a relationship with them because you never know when they get the confidence in you what they may want to do. So it's all about relationship. You may as well build the relationships before, you know, being a good citizen, going to their shop, you know, buying something from them, you know, doing whatever you can, hoping that, you know, there comes a time when they become a customer or a distributor, and if not, you've made a friend along the way and they're always enthusiastic, and then one day they're perhaps going to add something. So every day you love the business, you love the products, so you're going to do it in some way. Either you're going in the garage. I have a whole bunch of Christmas cards left over where you guys know that I usually write out a long Christmas letter about what's happening during the year, and often we have some left over, and I keep some in my purse so that often if I'm talking to someone, I say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a card with me. But you know what? I just happen to have my Christmas card that I send out, you know, to all the distributors. Maybe you'd like to read a little bit about Herbalife and what we do. So I know there's such a big story about our business on there. It's almost like a great recruiting tool. You could possibly do something the same there, you know, make out a little card that is the kind of, you know, what you would write if you were saying to your downline what's happened over the last year, talk about the good things in Herbalife, you know, and keep that with you. And then, you know, sorry, I haven't got my card, but here, read my Christmas card and here's my name. And if you take an interest in the business, there's so many things that you can do. And, you know, so I did write down something someone said before, and I'm trying to think what that was. Yeah, we get on these calls, there's just so many ideas. Then immediately I'm thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, I know Shelley saying that she asked the people across from the school about putting, you know, a sign on their fence. Wow. And you know what? That just goes to show not everyone's going to say no to you. Well, who would think to do that? Shelley's thought to do that, and they didn't say no. So, you know, when you go to talk about the business and, you know, flyers, whatever it is, products, they're not always going to say no. they're going to listen to what you've got to say. So, you know, I just thought that was a great thing you did there, Shelley. So how many people can you go to and try that around so that you are subliminally influencing people, you know, out there that go to school, etc., about, you know, Herbalife, so that when you're walking around with your shirt, you know, they're going to say, hey, I've seen that big Herbalife sign. So guys, I won't talk you this, but what I can say is that, you know, we just did the business because we needed to do something. So we did it every day, you know, all those hours of the day that we could. We saturated ourselves with Herbalife people and other Herbalife distributors, you know, and bit by bit our residual income kept happening all the time. And so that will happen to you. It doesn't matter if it takes longer or shorter. I mean, I think sometimes Levy Jan and other people I know, Merv Chesham has said to me, retired many years ago. And, you know, and Merv will say now and then, gee, my business is really building lately, you know. So you never know what's going to happen. Just at the right time, it's like the door opens for you and suddenly you see, you know, hey, there's a few more people climbing up here and a few more things happening. Who cares if it's a lifetime thing? Who cares if you get to be 55 or 65 and some more money starts rolling in? That's when you need it, that lifetime of work that you needed. Yes, we want it all now, and you work for now, and there'll be always retail profit for now. You know, there'll always be recruiting profit for now, but it's what you're building for the future. So unless you've got a question, that's it.
Well, no, thank you, Jennifer. So, and we definitely appreciate that you take the time out and you travel to come and see us and everyone else, all that you do that most people probably don't even know about. We all notice and we all appreciate it. So thank you very much. And this is probably why a lot of the organisation continues to grow, is because of the time and energy and effort that you put in. You know, it's phone calls. I know when I, you know, had a few years where I didn't go to events and that, you always stayed in contact, always, not, you know, you were always calling and messaging, and I definitely appreciate it. It's going to be part of my president's team story when I'm up on stage getting pinned by you. I'm definitely going to be mentioning that, just so you know. So thank you.
I'll definitely work with you, even though you won't be my president's team, you'll be somebody else's.
I'll always be yours, just so you know. So thank you very much. We definitely appreciate everything you share. So that's our recruiting. We've got a little bit over time, so I just wanted to quickly go through the current promotions. I'm just going to checklist them by date, and then I want you to go and challenge yourself daily. And I've got all the current promotions on a PowerPoint, and I want you to download it and print them out, put them on your wall and go for them. So these are all in dates. So obviously for March, we have our STSs all around Australia and New Zealand. So if you have an STS running in your area, please put the website link on there for us on Challenge Yourself Daily, so people can, because remember, we're doing Who Do You Know? We know people in different areas. Just because we don't live in that area doesn't mean we can't have people that can't attend there, okay? If you just ask who do you know. So so we've got our STSs, and that's our one-day training. We have a guest speaker, and it's a really great way for people to get lots and lots of stories on the business and stories on the products. That's the main reason I attend. Then we have our Success Summit on April the 21st around Australia. This is really designed for new supervisors. So if there was ever a time to become a supervisor, it would be now, so that you can be qualified for that event. Or it's for existing supervisors who do 5,000 volume points in 1 month, or 7,500 volume points combined in February and March. So make sure you go and have a look at the presentation with all the promotions on, and print it out so you've got copies of all of this. So that's April. So we've got March, April, May. We've got the Southeast Asia Extravaganza in Singapore. What a fantastic city to have an event. So this is a huge, it's like the Spectacular, but it's bigger and gives you a bigger vision and a bigger picture of what Herbalife can offer the world. And that's May 11th to the 13th. So put that in your diary, but download the flyer. Then in August, we have our World Team Leadership Weekend. So this is obviously, so the extravaganza is for supervisors too, just so you know. So another reason to become a supervisor. The World Team Leadership Weekend is August 25th and 26th. There's a few extra special things around that, but I won't go into it tonight. It's for all new World Team members or existing World Team members who do 2,500 volume points in 4 consecutive months. And we also have the member activation program, we've got the active supervisor program, and we've also got the Herbalife vacation in Queenstown. So I just wanted to mention all of those things, but to get all the exact qualifications and details, definitely go on to Challenge Yourself Daily. It'll be in the file section, and you'll see the PowerPoint presentation, which has all current promotions on there. So download it and print it. That's all I can suggest. So thank you everyone for your time tonight. So we've had 14 people on the call, completely present for the whole time, and I know we've gone a little bit over, so I really appreciate your attention and your focus. So I hope you get lots of great tips out. Look out on Challenge Yourself Daily for some of the resources that are going to come on there, and I really appreciate everyone that contributes to that. So have a fantastic night. We're looking forward to you all becoming recruiting maniacs and building your check and your organisation and really making a difference this year. So thank you everyone for contributing tonight. Have a great night. And